recorded to you live from the Baxter Building Boiler Room. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. I am your host. My name is Bill Sweeney. As always, I got my two cohorts, my co-host, Dom.
What's up? Let's go.
And Bob on guitar.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, kids. How you been? It's been a week. You know, I hope you guys are all tucked in, got a bowl of popcorn, maybe a glass of wine. Oh, no, that's my mom. That's her. That's her usual meals.
Well, it's not just a glass, though.
Not just it starts out as a glass.
Is she a frequent
It's a bottomless glass.
I don't know that she's ever listened to one. I think my dad knows of it. Knows of the podcast. He's like, hey, how's that thing going? Like that thing you're doing? It's like, that thing's going pretty good. That thing's going good. I'm having fun with it. I don't know if anybody else is listening out there. No, we got a couple listens. But yeah, he mentioned it. We chatted about it a little bit, but I don't know that he's probably got to invite the grandkids over and be like, find that thing my son's doing and play that for me, would you? You know, it might be one of those situations.
Yeah, and you can't do the iPhone thing with him.
No, but I did. I took his iPhone. I took his iPhone.
Now.
He's got bro. Yeah.
He's a subscriber though.
He's a subscriber too on his iPhone. I did it for him. Ooh. Took his phone and found the old purple podcast app on there. So what's that?
I'm sorry. I just picture him dealing with Siri.
Oh my good God! Thank God he doesn't even know about that. He'd probably stay away from it though. He hates the phone though. You know what I mean? He does. Like when it rings, and we're driving, especially when he came up and I was in the car with him, he was like, "Oh Jesus Christ, answer this for me!" Like, you know what I mean? He's like ready to throw it out the freaking window, and it's like it just rang. It didn't do anything to you. Like, you know, it's just letting you know there's a call coming. You know, I think he's had it with the phones though, because it's always ringing when he's driving. That's his thing. He's like, well, I'm in the house, it don't go off. But as soon as I get in the car, it's like everybody wants to call, or you know, and it's like a bank or some shit.
So
it's
crazy. It's so funny how that generation of people
Right.
I couldn't leave the house without my phone. I couldn't go.
No way.
I couldn't go 10 hours without my phone.
Right. Well, you do have to get every phone you own now onto the do not call list. It's not just your home phone anymore.
No, that's true. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to actually call the phone number for the do not call list on the phone you want on the call list.
Right. Yeah. Is that how it works now? Because
That's
I remember,
how it works.
because online, I registered mine online. You just type it in. But if you're doing it from the phone, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, you have to do it from the phone. They won't let you do it any other way. It's okay. So, but whatever.
But anyway, so that's your tip of the day is, hey, people, don't forget to...
Yes, don't forget to get yourself signed up for the do not call list so that you don't get all that useless...
Bullshit. And what does that last, like 3 years?
It's every year.
Every year you have to do it now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Shit. Because I remember when it first started, it was like 3 years. And then I guess those fucking scumbags...
I could be wrong. We got to... Whoever's going to do it should check online first.
Yeah, send us an email. Somebody check that, and then send us an email.
Do our work for us.
Could you, would you?
Yeah,
I mean,
please.
you know?
Yeah.
'Cause we're not into research.
We have menial day jobs, so... You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's 24 hours in a day, but I sleep most of them. So, yeah, that's Bob's tip of the day. Bob, you know what? I want you to bring a tip every week.
Okay, I can do that.
Don't sound enthused. That's my tip to you, all right? All right, well, this is episode 13, boys. Is anybody nervous?
Lucky number 13.
Is that nervous? Does that make you nervous? It's 13 episodes in. This is the one that's going to go horribly wrong. So,
This is the one that's going to go horribly wrong?
the rest just went wrong. This is horribly wrong. Like, someone will die probably before this episode is over.
Okay.
It's like a horror movie.
That's good. Sounds good. That's
Sounds
encouraging.
like an actually fun thing. We should have planned out something like that. Where one of you guys died by the end, and then we had like a mystery or some shit. All right. So, Dom, you're the first up at bat because our first segments usually would be kind of like if we got anything interesting that happened to us during the week.
Oh, I had some interesting things happen.
I heard you went on like a Shire Hobbit-like journey
Oh, yes.
through the fucking Shire to meet a legend. Would you
did.
care to share with the class?
I did, folks. I walked through a lot of annoying people to meet George R.R. Martin.
George R.R.R. Martin. So George R.R. Martin was at the Staten Island Yankees Stadium. That's the Yankees farm team here on Staten Island.
Yes, sir. The single A team.
Single A, because
goes up to AAA.
But yeah, I wouldn't know.
That's why I said it.
I thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't sport very well.
I know that.
I do not sport. So,
So Staten Island is good enough for the Yankees, but just the crappiest Yankees.
yeah, well, you know, the up and comers, and then once they're actually good, it's like we got to get you out of there. Kid.
Yeah,
We can't let that island taint you.
Yeah, we got to take you out of like New York City and put you into the AA farm team in the middle of Ohio.
right. Well, we're getting there, but you're getting there, buddy.
And from there, we're going to put you on the AAA team in Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska's
You're
good.
just
though.
going to shuck corn in your free time.
Nothing else to do. Nothing else to do.
No, that's why they had the teams there. So all they can do is play baseball.
That's it. That's it. You just work on your swing all day.
Exactly.
That's it.
But where people actually might want to pay to see a Yankee game, they got to go see the A team, not the AAA team. You know?
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's actually from what I
That's a
understand.
good point.
From what Dom is saying, that's right. I wouldn't know. So, but anyway, George R.R. Martin came to Staten Island.
Yes.
The actual inspiration for Westeros, from what he's actually said.
Yeah, well, I've seen a few videos with him. I mean, if you don't already know, he's from
New Jersey?
Bayonne, New Jersey, which is literally a stone's throw away from Staten Island.
Oh, man.
So close.
You can't get to Bayonne from here right now, though, because they ripped down the bridge and everything.
It's all right. If you just do like the deer do and swim over here.
That's true.
It's true.
And they're swimming from Jersey. How scary is it?
Jersey deer are the worst.
We don't want to be in Jersey anymore.
Ain't much better here. Go back.
No,
Golden
seriously.
State
There's more
Miners.
trees over there. We have a few trees, but they're going fast.
Yeah, you're getting hit by more cars over here.
That's for sure. So, so he was having a signing and shit there at the stadium.
Yeah, so he made an appearance at the Staten Island Yankee game yesterday, and he,
You're getting a little fuzzy there, Bob. You're a little feedback-ish.
so the whole entire game was Game of Thrones themed.
Nice.
They had, between every inning, there was at least, 4 or 5 Game of Thrones trivia questions that, a fan or whatever would be asked the questions, and everyone in the crowd would blurt out the answers. And they would win a prize for not knowing the answer.
Right. They'd get
Just
it
like
anyway.
every other trivia game at a
At a
professional
stadium.
sporting
Oh,
event.
I could see it. Yeah. Why do they bother anymore? Okay.
But, yeah, it was a fun time. It was cool.
They did some jousting bullshit, right?
There was a Men of the Night's Watch induction ceremony.
Aww.
I am now a member of the Night's Watch.
Oh my God. Do I have to call you like Lord Tory or Lord Dominic or anything like that?
No, you could just call me.
Just call him the Dominator.
Yeah. What do they call it? Brother? Something like that? Probably okay.
I took the black, and this will be my last podcast.
Oh shit, we're
because
gonna
I'm
lose
getting
you.
shipped off.
Getting shipped to the
to the
wall?
wall.
Did you buy a coat? It's cold up there.
I'm gonna need like 4 North Faces.
You're gonna need 4 North Faces and a pimp jacket on top of it because everything on that show up there is fuzzy, furry.
Yeah, it was a good time, to see all my fellow nerds dressed up in their best Game of Thrones attire, T-shirts, and some people even went as far as getting dressed up.
There was some cosplay.
I saw at least 4 or 5 Daenerys's.
How many Jon Snows?
There was a couple Jon Snows. I was very surprised that there was a lot of Jaime Lannisters. I guess there's just a lot of guys that are blonde and douchey on Staten Island.
Tall. I'm very Aryan looking. I can play him.
Exactly.
Okay.
I look Nordic.
Exactly. So, all right, and no one dresses Tyrion? No one doing any inappropriate Tyrion impressions?
There were a few good Tyrion T-shirts, but there was no.
No one dressed running around on his knees like a jerk?
Yeah.
Good. That's because you never know around here on Staten Island. You get a lot of guys thinking they're funny, but they're actually giant douchebags.
Very true. Very true.
So, now this
Everyone
line...
says I look Nordic. No, dude, they say you're a dick.
So now, sorry, man.
All right, edit that out later.
Nope.
That little second right there is where Bill's gonna squeeze in the cricket sound.
Squeeze in the crickets. Which Bob doesn't listen to episodes back, so he doesn't know what happens to episodes when he fucking drops a ball. Are you getting the signal, Bob? Are you getting the call from the mothership?
I don't know what's going on.
That sounds exactly how I want the news sound effects to be.
Then I just need to keep breaking amplifiers.
Just need to keep busting up the fucking equipment. All right, that's cool, man. We got a little chat to do before you probably have to play again anyway. But all right, so now you were on this line.
Oh my god! So me, my girlfriend, my friend, and his girlfriend, we got to the stadium around 2:30, 3 o'clock. Mm-hmm. They didn't open the gates until 6.
Sure.
So pretty much it was like a rat race to get into the stadium,
Oh
like
my
to get
God.
on the line inside the stadium.
Right.
Because if you didn't already know this, there was only the first 400 guests into the stadium that got to meet George.
I got you.
So-
Okay. Oh, now it's George.
Yeah, because now he's met him. So
Right. Well, that's true. That's true.
Well, I could call him Germ
Germ, like other people do. George GRRM.
because everything he signs at GRRM,
Right.
or the hat that I got says Germ on it.
Well, nice,
so
nice.
yesterday I was pretty much just calling him Germ, like in a. As
Oh,
a
by the way,
joke.
with the hats, couldn't get me a hat, huh?
Oh, I asked.
I asked. They were like, "Can you have a bill?" And they're like, "No."
Dude, I was about to like. Oh my god! Yesterday, you would find this so.
Am I skipping ahead in the story?
No, not at all. So, it's a rat race to get in, get through the gate. I'm just pushing people over to get into the line. Like I'm stiff arming people to get there.
Dude, I was 3 hours early for a reason.
You're using all your best hockey techniques on land.
So I pretty much just like we're pushing geeks and nerds out of the way.
Like, I dropped my glasses.
Which most of the time is easy.
Which was easy, you know.
Yeah, stiff arming a guy like that. Yeah, sometimes.
So I get on the line, and I hold the spot for my friend and the two girls, and they finally get to the line, and there's fucking so many people ahead of us at this point.
No, Jesus.
So we're all just standing there like,
There's no way.
there's no way. There's 400 people ahead of us easily. Like
Right,
So we
right.
stay on that line for like another like half hour, 45 minutes, whatever, and you know, there's this thing going on with it, like, oh, when you get there, you're gonna get a wristband, and like once you get the wristband, you're good to go.
Okay.
So then finally, the guy comes walking down the line, giving out wristbands.
Okay.
So now we're like all relaxed and.
Right, you can
ready to
tell
go.
you're gonna. Okay.
But before I got the wristband, I gotta admit, I was very like high, like my
Anxiety.
my anxiety was just like
This is a fucking
through
waste of
the
time.
roof.
I can't
Like
believe
I was
it.
ready to knock somebody the fuck out.
I swear to God, if I don't get a wristband.
So I'm like freaking out, like just
waste of
pissed
time.
off. I waited in the hot sun all
boiling.
fucking day, and who
Boiling.
calls me but Brian Farrell?
Oh.
Yo, Dom, you think you can get me a hat? I'm like, what? I can barely hear him. Everyone's fucking screaming.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, hold on, Brian. Hold on. I just hung up. So then he calls me back. I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? Yo, you think you can get me a hat? I was like, I'll try. All right, I'll give you the money. And I hung up.
Oh man. So no hats, huh?
No hats. So
Man.
I asked the girl, like, when I first got in, I was like, hey, you think, like, I could get a couple extra hats? And, no good.
No good.
Just think, Dom, if you had gotten one for Bill and not for Brian, you would have made things really tense at
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, I
Really
probably
nice.
would have just gave it to him. I would have been like, yeah, just tell Brian it's for him.
Yeah.
I would have done that.
Yeah, you're
No, I wouldn't have. No, I wouldn't have. The hat just would have never
I
been
would
start.
worry.
I would
Yeah.
be like, don't tell him you get me a hat. That's all.
Exactly. No, but, dude,
I mean, let's be honest here, Brian. I know you're listening.
we were on that line, no, he's not.
No, probably not.
We were online. We were online on the inside for about probably 20 minutes, and by that point, everybody that was coming through the gates had no hat.
Oh,
So
okay.
they sold out of those hats real quick,
Right,
and
right.
it was the first 2,500 fans.
Oh,
So
right.
by 6:20 or 6:30, there was 2,500 people in there already.
You know what? I should explain this. Okay, so now as part of George R. R. Martin doing this, see, he's a diehard Mets fan. Is that it? Or he
I think
just,
so.
Or just really hates the Yankees or some shit like that, right?
Possibly.
So, but either way, his stipulation was that supposedly the stipulation was that the team has to change its name to the Dire Wolves for this one game that he's going to go there, and they even made a special logo with the Dire Wolf, and then the SI style that the team uses.
Bill will post a picture on the page of
Yeah.
the hat.
I'll
that
post it
that I
up.
got
But anyway, so
for a better visual.
it was like it was gonna be one of these things where it's gonna be a limited edition, one time
Right.
only, just by the nature of it. So it's like,
Sure.
hey,
You gotta get it.
we
If
gotta
you can
get it. So do you have yours at home now?
Have mine at home.
hermetically sealed in some kind of vault or something?
Yes.
Or you got like a cup of coffee sitting on it, like I probably would have.
No, it's signed by
Using it for-
by George R. R. Martin.
Nice.
It's sitting
Nice.
sitting pretty.
How is it? Good, decent kind of
It's a
quality.
decent hat.
Yeah,
Another day after the man dies, you put it up on eBay for $5,000
there you go. Minimum.
minimum.
Dude, that day's coming soon, right?
So let's skip ahead a little bit. So now you're online.
Yeah, so
You're,
eventually,
sweating.
we waited on that line for like another hour or so, and then we finally got to meet him about, I don't know, I want to say 7:30. So we missed majority of the game, but I really could give a fuck.
Well, you really didn't go there for the game anyway.
No, not at all. I mean, that's that's
Yeah.
what we were thinking. Like,
You went there for the hat.
yeah, we were waiting. So yes, exactly. So we're waiting online, and my girlfriend's like, "Oh, come on, like let's get off. Like I don't even care if we meet him or not. Like I just want to get the hat." which we had already,
Yeah.
and I just want to see some of the game.
You guys probably all just really want to sit down.
Yeah, exactly. So my friend he was like, Taylor, I'm sorry, but I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this signing. So there's no, I don't care about the game.
Yeah, the game's not an option, like really.
So then we all realized that, and we were all good to go, and we just were mentally prepared to stay online for another 2 hours.
That was good though. You guys had to re-up your energy there and stuff.
Yeah. But
So
the game was actually pretty cool. Each section in the stadium was named like a certain territory in the world of Game of Thrones. We were sitting in, I think it was the Vale.
oh yeah,
We were in the Vale.
oh yeah, nice. All right.
And the opposing team, which is actually called the Hudson Valley Renegades, was named the Lannisters. So they had like the Lannister Lions. Yeah.
Lannister Lions.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they had like a Lannister style jersey also, and they were auctioning off the jerseys like after the game and stuff. But we really didn't stay. We kind of just ran out of there.
That would have ran off forever.
Yeah, and
So,
they had just one more thing. They had an iron throne made out of baseball bats, which is pretty cool. But the line for that was extremely long also, so I didn't get
was it like sit down in and take a picture kind of a thing?
Yeah.
How was it looking cool, or was it like?
It was very cool. It was very cool.
Oh, all right.
I just didn't feel like waiting on another line.
No way.
I think Dave Grohl did that after he broke his leg with guitar necks, didn't he?
Probably should have. He should have.
He did.
Did he actually?
Yeah, he did. I saw pictures of it.
All right.
They made a giant throne and put all sorts of guitar necks on the sides and everything.
Well, yeah, when he went to
that's right. I did see it
concert,
too.
When I went to the
Yeah.
concert, that's
Put it
what
on
he played in.
Facebook.
Well, that's why I saw it.
I don't think it was modeled after the Iron Throne, though. I got to be honest.
Not in a particular way, but.
Yeah.
So now you finally get to meet the dude, right?
So I met him, and that was pretty much it. I mean,
Yeah.
I took a quick picture with him. There was so many people that they were just really rushing the autographs.
Yeah. Would you have like 5 seconds with him, like? You know?
Yeah, I mean, and the picture I took he wasn't even looking at it. Like I had to just snap like a quick selfie with him, like without him even looking, because the people, like the ushers or whatever, that were like organizing everyone getting to him, they were like just you can't take a picture.
Yeah, the vibe is rough.
So there was a live direwolf though, actually, but
A live direwolf.
yeah,
You sure it was alive? Because I saw the picture.
he looked pretty dead.
He
right?
looked like he might have taken an arrow or two.
I think that was only because his handler was the Saint of Killers.
That's who that guy was?
Yeah, he was the wolf handler.
I didn't know who that guy was. And when you showed me the picture, you're like, yo, look, the Saint of Killers was there.
I've heard you guys talking.
So the guy,
There he is.
he's tall, gaunt,
Yeah.
blonde hair, long,
If you,
older kind of guy.
If you have me on Twitter, I actually posted up a pic stitch of the picture of the guy and the Saint of Killers. And
The guy in
I
question.
tweeted it at Seth
Well, we
Rogen.
should just Photoshop a picture of him, so he's wearing a trench coat and a hat,
There you go.
and then there you go.
Exactly.
There you go. So,
That was pretty much it. I mean, he was a very nice man. But,
very nice.
When you
it's
get
like
up to the line,
10
it's
seconds,
like,
yeah.
I was just like, here, sign my fucking book, you fucking jerk.
It's like, I don't even care anymore. Like, now that I'm here, it's just like I did
Now
all
that I
this
was online
work.
for 5 hours.
I'm just so tired. I just so want to leave. Like,
Yeah, but I got a couple cool pictures of him. There's a picture of me that I'll send to Bill that he
Yeah.
could post up on the website.
Post on the website. Maybe
Now you
I'll
all
even
know what
use
I
it.
look like.
Maybe I'll even use it for the episode picture, for the episode art.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll see.
Possibly.
Lately, I've been doing like a little collage, so I'll slip it in there.
Right. Cool.
All right. So, what did you bring to get signed?
I brought the first installment of the book series, the Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool.
That's actually the only one of the series that I've read so far.
Right.
But yeah.
So you got that signed in the hat.
Yeah.
All right.
That sounds like a $10,000 day on eBay to me.
Yeah.
Well,
$7.
The book that I have is one of the it's not the original printing of the book, but it's from like the early 2000s, so it's before the show was even like picked up.
Oh, all right. So it's before it's all HBO.
$5,001.
So all the new books that they printed since the show, it says like from the upcoming series or from these HBO series.
Right.
Yeah, they changed the
This
trade.
one just says Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the trade
But
dressed up.
they
Is it
gave out.
written in ye olde English?
Yes, that's one of
Read
the
from the
reasons why I haven't read the rest of the books, Bob, because they're so
okay.
fucking hard to read.
It's like
They are
reading
slow read.
Shakespeare.
Yeah,
Well,
well, not as
Oof,
hard, but
not that bad.
But
He's from Jersey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank God.
They gave out the hat. They gave out the first book of Game of Thrones, and they gave out another book that is not a part of the 5 of the main series, but it's like a side piece that he's written.
Well, okay, so I think I've heard of it. It's like the short stories
Yeah, so I'll be probably checking that out.
That's cool though.
But if you want to read the first book, either one of you guys, I now have the second copy of it that I can.
To be honest with you, I think I bought the first book and I lent it to Brian, and I think I might have then lent it to somebody else because it was at the warehouse, and I was like, yeah, just take it. I'm not going to finish it. And now that I know so much with the show, it's just like,
yeah, no,
I feel like a lot of certain stories, it's like I can't go back and read them after I've seen the movies and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons why I haven't gone forward with reading the book series also, because I finished the show and then I read the first book and it was like the exact same thing that went on like in the first season.
Yeah, that's rough sometimes, you know what I mean?
But I mean, there was a few things in there that were cool.
No, but at least with a book like that, because it's so dense and it's so deep, that you actually can get more out of it as opposed to like something else. Like
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
The main thing for me right now that I want to read with Game of Thrones is the anthology or history book. It's called what is it called?
Yeah, you brought that to work the other day.
Yeah, I just got it a few weeks ago. It's called A World of Fire and Ice.
Well, okay.
And
it's like the Encyclopedia West Street.
Yeah, it's a big, huge book. It's hardcover. It only goes for $30 on Amazon. I definitely, if you're a big Game of Thrones fan, I definitely encourage you checking it out.
Yeah, recommended.
It's very cool. It does a lot of things in that book that you will never hear on the show. That if you're interested,
the stuff that they're not even going to mention at all.
If you're interested in the mythos of the show, it's something to check out.
All that backstory kind of stuff that they mention every once in a while. So, all right.
That's definitely more worth reading than bothering to read 4 more books if you've read.
Yeah, especially if you're looking just for something to add to the pile.
Exactly.
All right, well, that seems to wrap up your giant, I thought you were going to stab him or something. You were like,
I did have a knife.
I'm going to be like, for the watch, and shank him.
For the North now.
For the whoever, for Johnny. Do it for Johnny.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
But, I did have a little blade on me, but security was like, you can't bring that in, dude.
Oh, it's not cool. You were like, yeah, but it's like, it's Westerosi. Yeah. All right.
It's forged by Valyrian steel.
It's Valyrian steel. It doesn't go off in your metal detectors.
No, exactly. It's actually made of dragon glass.
It's made of dragon glass. Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. You could have saved somebody if the time came with the White Walkers.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I was wearing my White Walker whiskey shirt.
Oh, were you? Mm-hmm. You should have been like, hey, George, look, unofficial merchandise.
You didn't sign off on
this. You didn't sign off. You ain't making a nickel over this. T-Fury, bitch. All right. So,
I was going to ask him to sign it, but I didn't want him to be like...
He probably wouldn't even know. He'd be like, I'm sure HBO's fucking me on that, too.
Yeah.
Merchandise, I'm sure, is like a fucking thing where it's like, I'll just take the check and take your word for it. All right. I really don't have anything big this week. I did have something that I wanted to get to, but I'm going to save it for next week because it turned into a little bit of a production.
Okay. That's good.
So we're gonna leave it at that for hint.
I got a few newsy pieces.
You got actually official news stuff, though, right? Because before we get to that, I just wanted to fucking just make a small mention here to the ladies and gentlemen at home that, hey, we like emails, there's like a drought going on in the email inbox, and it's just nothing coming. So if there's any topics or anything you want to hear us discuss, talk about, trash, destroy, if you want to try and stump us with some trivia questions of your own.
If any fact that we've ever stated on the show is actually not a fact.
If you want to start an email with actually, sir, and then correct us, you know what I mean? But definitely looking for emails, kids, Send your stupid top 10 lists, be a remote producer in a way. Bring content to the table, I don't care. We'll make you non-famous. We'll make you one scintilla more famous than you are right now. Yeah. You could tell somebody I had an email read on a fucking shitty podcast. But that's it. I just want to kind of throw that out there. Just begging for some emails. So with that, you can send those to podcast@wickedtheory.com. And on to news. We'll do some news.
We got some news today.
I got some news for you, motherfucker.
You got any news?
You know what's funny, too? I'm dropping F-bombs like crazy. And, go on, Bob. Hit it. All right, close enough. We're working on that. But all right, at least he's willing to be a little self-deprecating, right? So I gotta stop playing with this. I'm fidgeting with that. I don't know. I started saying something now.
So news. I got The Flash has cast
Who?
Keenan Lonsdale.
Okay.
You might know him from the Divergent movie series.
Okay.
And he'll be in the upcoming film The Finest Hours.
All right.
It's a Disney movie. It's with Chris Pine and Casey Affleck. You might have seen the trailer for it. It was released a few weeks ago.
I saw it.
It's like a Titanic type of thing.
It's water and boats.
Exactly.
Okay.
But he was cast as Wally West.
All right.
So this version of Wally West will be the new 52 version of Wally West, which is a young African-American male who's got a little more street cred than the old Wally West.
Oh, shit. Well, let me tell you something. What's funny is that there are still, even though Joe West has been on the show since day one, there are still fans of the show who are like up in arms that Wally, that he's going to be black.
Right.
It's like, what did you think they were going to do? Did you think Iris was going to have a brother that was magically white? Like, Barry's adopted. Okay, whatever. You know what I mean? But, like, if they're going to do some alternate history stuff, real change in the timelines, and obviously this is probably, to me, that's how Wally's going to pop into the show. It's going to be one of these as if he was always here kind of things, probably. But it's like...
Wow, that just popped. I just had to take a deep breath. I don't know if you heard me go, yeah. I just had to realize that Wally West is going to be Joe's kid, probably. I just didn't even realize that.
Yeah, the question is going to be like whether or not, like, you know, it's because the timeline gets jiggered, you know, all jiggered, or if does a jitterbug. Rejiggered, or if like he just ends up here like as a castaway from his own timeline.
Right.
You know,
I think,
or if he will actually stay on the show indefinitely.
Well,
I'd say option 2.
That he'll just be like
it's easier to explain.
And easier to kind of like send him back where he came from.
Yes, I think I agree with that because in the New 52, I'm not reading that Flash book, but I'm pretty sure that he was in the New 52. He was never like existed so recently, right before Convergence.
Okay.
Barry does something that alters the timeline.
Oh.
And
got Barry.
This new 52 version of Wally West is made, and he's like actually the Kid Flash. Whatever it is.
It's too fucking complicated. Yeah. It's just way too fucking complicated.
And so he's pretty much just like a...
Well, that's cool, though. I mean, hey, man.
Yeah, he's pretty much just like a... I read a few things about this character, and he's pretty much just like a teenage, like, delinquent who, you know, him and Barry meet for the first time, and, like, Barry kind of shows him the ropes a little bit.
Right. Okay. Well, because the only reason I would say that he would go back in the end to, like, whatever timeline he's from or his reality or wherever he's coming from. It's only because it's like, how many speedsters can you have on the show? Because it's A, budget, and B, it's like, you know, it takes away from Wally. Yeah. But also it's like, you know, two guys actually named the Flash. They're both the Flash. You know, at least in the comics when there was a change of the guard, you know, and there'd be a new Flash, it was because the old Flash was like dead, retirement, giving up the mantle. You know what I mean? Like, this is like... You know, by the end of the season, I would expect it to go back to status quo, kind of, as far as there being one Flash versus two Flashes.
Well, no, I think there's going to be some kind of conflict with more Flashes, simply because we've already had from day one Reverse Flash.
Well, that's fair enough.
Fair
enough. Yeah.
So I think that says that there's going to be more
flashing,
more of the theme.
Yeah.
Than you might normally expect in a TV series.
Okay.
And expect Tom Cavanaugh.
I don't expect 20 of them running around.
No, but they did say...
We might see 2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah. They did they did hint at more speedsters as opposed to just one more. So.
And Wiley's got to get his super speed from learning from somebody.
Yeah, it's that. And then even in the comics, all of a sudden it turns into a thing where there's like, you know, 5 people or whatever who... Besides the guys who call themselves the Flash, there's like other speedsters, and so I'm sure it'll get like convoluted to a point. But like, I hear what you're saying.
And
yep.
Expect Tom Cavanaugh to be Zoom.
Yeah. You think they're gonna make him bad again?
I just can't imagine him being any other character on the show because his Reverse Flash, quote unquote, character is dead, from what we understand. His Harrison Wells' character is dead. So it could either be, because we already know that he's going to be on the show this upcoming season. So it'll either be an alternate version of Harrison Wells, or you could take the best actor on the show and make him be Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's kind of hard to.
Some very valid points.
Well, it's kind of hard to. Probably
He's the only
walk
guy
away.
I can picture.
The thing with the show, though, is because of the way that they're going with things, it can go anywhere.
That's Well,
You know?
that's the thing too.
So, no matter how much speculation you do,
Right.
you're never gonna nail anything.
No. Well, me and Dom learned that one the hard
we've
way.
fallen victim. Of that a
We
few
fell
times.
victim to our own, beautiful imaginations, taking us into crazy places last season while theorizing we did, and then just kind of like barely kind of touching the way that they did.
Barely touching the way they did it, and then at the end being like, "Yeah, we called that. We knew it.
We called that. Well, we did, but we dismissed it outright because it wasn't meaty enough in our heads. Like it was like, yeah, but there's so much other cool shit that's got to be involved.
Right.
All right, all right.
Moving on.
else
While
you
we're on the DC, while we're on the DC universe shows, Hawkman has been cast in Legends of Tomorrow, and so has Vandal Savage. So I guess
Vandal Savage, I saw. That
guess
guy
you
looks
could've-
just like him.
yes, he does. I guess you could expect him to be the main.
Yeah, he's going to be
villain
the big
of that
bad
first
for that
season.
show.
That official Deadpool trailer has been released. What do you guys think about that?
I saw that.
Yeah, the Deadpool trailer was great, man.
I
Great,
thought it was excellent.
great.
So I got a question for you guys.
Yeah, hit us.
From the trailers we've seen so far between Comic-Con and recently, what is going to be the best 2016 superhero film of the year? From the trailers we've seen.
Well, yeah, I don't know, man.
Because we haven't seen a Civil War trailer yet, so.
I definitely, I'm getting the feeling that I'm really going to enjoy Deadpool.
Well, I think that's the thing. I think it's like,
What's going to be the best movie, though?
it's still subjective. It's still really subjective because it's about like
Refresh my
what
memory.
what are you gonna like? So we were looking at Batman versus Superman,
Yes, it's going to be good.
Deadpool, and then is there anything else? Fantastic Four just came and went, but I know that's not 16. But
There was a few sneak peeks to the X-Men movie at Comic-Con. I don't even know if you saw that online. You probably didn't see that, Bob.
No, I didn't see that, but
So yeah, probably.
I've heard rumblings of something about a movie.
So pretty much my question is, which trailer do you think was better? Deadpool or Batman vs Superman?
bro, they're two different animals.
yeah,
It's
this is
tough
that's-
because they're both selling. Both of them are selling what they want to sell pretty fucking good and pretty hard. Like there's no outstanding. While that one's not that great. Like, they're both like an 8 out of 10.
Right. I really think that if they came out on the same day, they would both do phenomenal.
Yeah.
It'd be actually the kind of thing where if you went to the theater to see one, you're just like, dude, I want to go see the other one right
You
now.
know, if one's sold out, the other one's gonna pick up the slack,
You know what
kind of
I mean?
thing. Yeah, that would be kind of crazy.
So, but I could see two different audiences going to see those movies and then saying, all right, now that I've seen this one, I got to see the other one.
Supposedly, there's a Batman vs Superman first screening, and it supposedly got a standing O.
Standing ovation, and supposedly that's now been the impetus for them to not only get Ben Affleck to do a Batman solo movie, which they'd already started getting him signed on to do, to star and direct, but now it's probably going to lock him in for three Batman movies, which they hadn't really planned on doing.
Yeah.
But they just, it's a studio. They get a bunch of fucking hard-ons instantly when they see something that's like, oh my god, we know it's gonna make money. Like the risk has gone out the window. We can plan for the future, like as opposed to something like Fantastic Four. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Dude, Fantastic Four. I don't want to talk about criticizing the movie today
But-
because I haven't seen it yet. But all I want to say.
Okay, I
is
guess we'll
that
get to it right now.
It was just. touch
No,
on
well,
it
we
quick.
were kind of done with the other thing.
The cast, the 4 of the Fantastic Four actors, had not seen the movie until the day it was released to the general public.
Right.
So
That's
that just
usually not a good start.
that just goes to tell you.
But I also feel like these guys are a low-level cast.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's-
Usually what happens is that most actors don't end up seeing a movie in total before it comes out. They can if a movie is like thrown out on like the Sundance film circuits and all these things. They end up pushing a movie for a year and a half before it gets picked up. But when it's a big blockbuster thing, it's like out of their hands. Like maybe they'll get pulled into a screening of it. But it's not always a thing where it's like, okay, all the cast and crew, we're going to do the big final show. It's locked, it's fucking done, it's edited, and everybody gets to go, sit around and see it. I think people kind of like overreacted a little bit to that, but conversely, like, it still could be a really good point if they were keeping it locked and hidden away from everybody. Right. But now we also know that
it was...
Well, it's getting...
supposedly atrocious.
Yeah, the reviews are not... good.
No, they are the exact
Let's put it that
opposite.
I can't say my opinion. I haven't actually seen it.
Yeah,
right. None of us have, so we can't really be stating.
But the reviews are atrocious. There's not a better way to say it.
So here's the thing, too. A lot of people who have seen it and not that the people that aren't trashing it, let's put it like this, are saying that it's got some decent stuff. It holds up for the first little while. And then it kind of falls apart in the end.
Supposedly the first quarter of the movie is solid.
Yeah. And then it's almost like some people have said it's almost like you can see where the studio came in and shifted gears on it. Yeah. But we know for a fact that that's what happened. That it was a rumor for a while that it kind of got taken away from the guy Josh Trank, the director. Mm-hmm. And now recently he's actually posted up a thing online on his Twitter account, which was basically, I had a really fantastic vision in my head for this movie. It's a shame you guys will never get to see that. So, which, everybody...
I don't know if that's just him, not trying to take the blame for it.
It's obviously him trying to distance himself a little bit from it, right. And probably trying to remind people that, at the very least, the final edit on this was, and some of the final reshoots were taken away from me. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Other people came in and finished this. But what do you make of that? Because it's like, well, who's to say that the things that we don't like, you would have changed or done differently? Like,
but let's think about too. If he pretty much did 2/3 of the movie, and someone came in and reshot stuff and changed things around and re-edited the last third, then that whole movie is different.
No, yeah, absolutely.
So it's, how can you blame the director for the first half of it if he didn't get to finish the whole thing?
Well, no, that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly.
Supposedly, like I said before, the first quarter, the first half of the movie is pretty solid. So, if maybe he stuck it out throughout the whole movie, it might have ended up being pretty good.
I think what happened is that you had a studio that was crazy, super nervous about that whole project from the jump. And as soon as they saw something that they didn't like or was rubbing them the wrong way or was just making them more nervous because they didn't understand it or didn't have faith in it, they just pulled him out from it. Whereas they probably should have just left him there, let him finish his vision. It'll sink or swim anyway, so let it sink and swim on being this vision,
At the very least, as a studio, you can say, well, you know what? He had a plan. We were on board with it. It didn't work out,
Right.
And move on. But now you've put you made the studio look bad by being a studio. Well, doing what a studio does.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get involved when they shouldn't.
Yeah.
And now there's a lot of people that are very nervous for the new X-Men film, which is, I don't understand why, because the previous two X-Men films are very good, in my opinion. And even nervous for Deadpool because they're from the same studio.
I think it's just the hate is just now spilling over. Mm-hmm. But one of the things I wanted to kind of mention real quick was that in the week leading up to it, right, there was an article in the Post, which I just want to point out because of how fucking short-sighted and incredibly suspicious this article was. So it was an article all about how come the Fantastic Four can't find their groove? How come no one can do them right? And meanwhile, nowhere in this article did it bring up anything about the studio. It was just about these past failed attempts and talking to one guy in a comic book store about what they need to do different. And so the question that this article posed didn't seek to answer it at any level because why would they? Because it's a Fox-owned newspaper. Mm-hmm. It's all Rupert Murdoch. So they're not going to sit there and say at the end of the article or paint that article in any way, shape, or form that's it's not really Marvel involved. Marvel's fucking backed away from it because Fox won't play nice. And so it's just Fox fucking it up. And every single time, these last 3 attempts to make 4, if you count the fact that there was a sequel to the one of them, it's only been because the rights were about to run out. And it's we got to put something into motion to keep the rights.
Right. I got to ask you two a question.
Sure.
How you guys really thought that those other 2 movies were that bad? I actually enjoyed those.
I think
those are 2 of my favorite superhero movies only because I grew up on those two movies.
I feel like those two movies are as faithful, or very faithful in intent. But this is one of the things with the Fantastic Four is like I don't really think that the Fantastic Four is something that's going to translate to the big screen easily, and it's going to end up coming off very cartoony and very kind of silly almost. So as much as
it's a man made of rock.
That's what I mean. And there's a guy who likes them, all four of them are silly to a degree. You know what I mean? Which is like you can say that about anything, and I get that. But anything, conversely, anything can be done right and made good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Somebody made fucking Batman work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's like early days of science fiction on TV.
Right.
All of it was aimed at little kids. No one wanted to try to do anything right. All of a sudden, Gene Roddenberry comes along, changes everything.
When you find an approach that makes it work right, like, you know what I mean, then you can step it up.
Right. And you got to have people that believe and are willing, and can make everybody else believe.
I don't feel like those other two Fantastic Four movies were inherently bad movies. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I definitely don't begrudge them anything because they gave that shit a shot. Like, with keeping it as much as we expect it to be without changing things. You know what I mean?
I think...
And they're fun. And they're fun to a degree. Like, you know what I mean?
Are. I think that the Silver Surfer movie was a very good attempt at making a good Fantastic Four movie on a budget.
Yeah.
Because Fox didn't give these big budgets on any of them, So I think that's the issue. Now, when you look at what's his name, Michael Chiklis has The Thing. You see a good representation of The Thing, but when you sit there and you look at it does look a little cartoony.
Yeah.
The whole thing does, but that's the nature of the Fantastic Four.
Right, but it is a thing that's like for me. It makes me wonder if
maybe they need to be not tongue in cheek, but it needs to be a lighthearted take on a superhero group in a movie.
Yeah.
More like Ant-Man. Make them the Impossibles?
Well, that's what everybody keeps saying all this week is that for everybody that says, oh, well, you can't do the Fantastic Four. The comeback is, yes, you can. It's the Impossibles.
Incredibles.
The Incredibles, rather. It's the Pixar's The Incredibles.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, granted, that's built into a cartoon world, but they're just trying to say that the story structure is there. Like, you could do it. But so I don't feel it's like an even matchup. Because your suspension of disbelief watching a Pixar movie is a different level than your suspension of disbelief when you're watching Fantastic Four.
Right, when you're watching real life people perform.
In real environments and shit like that. Right. And it's like,
Yeah. So maybe what I said earlier they just can't do, because that's kind of what, now that I'm thinking about it, original sci-fi was. It was kind of like they weren't taking it seriously.
Because it looked silly.
Right.
As far as TV back in those days, appealed to kids to a degree because it was like, kids didn't know any better. They hadn't really been exposed to a whole lot in their lives yet. Right. That's why everything seems so fucking amazing when you're a little kid. And then, like, you got to remember that when you think back, when you're older, like, oh, yeah, well, I was 7 and I watched a sci-fi movie for the first time. So, yeah, that movie will be amazing to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the first thing I saw.
That's why I think the Fantastic Four is
We're talking about stuff that happened back in the day.
Jessica Alba and...
Why? Because you were young when you saw them? You think you're a little nostalgia biased because you were young?
I've seen them recently, too.
And they were floating around not that long ago.
I really haven't been able to say anything bad about them, really, but I mean, don't get me wrong, I really haven't read a shit ton of Fantastic Four comics,
right.
But I have been getting a lot of Fantastic Four recently while I'm reading Secret Wars, and I really think that movie was like a pretty solid representation of what they're like.
Bro, for what they've always been, that is the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four is more sunlight, it's more daytime, it's more, it's family stuff.
Right.
It's all these kind of themes that are not what we're used to lately with superhero stuff, where it's like very serious, or it's dark, or it's about more mature story elements and trying to paint this picture. And so like a lot of people, but that's not sticking when they did it. And now the new version, people are hating on the fact that it's dark and brooding. It's grimdark, and it's like people are hating on that. And it's like, well, look, they're giving it a shot.
Yeah, whenever you put a bunch of people in the main roles of the movie that all look like they're 17 years old, and then try to make it dark and broody, you're not going to get dark and broody.
No, but I mean,
it's not going to deliver. You're going to get 90210 with the lights off.
Well, to a degree.
That whole thing when there was like this uproar of fans like saying that this movie is not true to the comics and has nothing to do with anything the Fantastic Four has ever been about, you clearly have not been reading Fantastic Four comics within the past like 10 years.
Yeah.
Because this movie is like exactly based on the Earth's on the ultimate Marvel version of the Fantastic Four.
Well, here's
like
the thing, too.
Mirror image of it.
I think a lot of people really weren't hip to that, though. I think a lot of people weren't really hip to it when, it's like, the Nick Fury in the Marvel movies is, the version from the Ultimates comics. A lot of people didn't know that there was that, like, you know what I mean? And, the best thing about the Ultimate version of the Fantastic Four is that eventually Reed becomes a bad guy. Eventually Reed just goes crazy, and they leave him as a bad guy the whole time. You know what I mean? So it's like, in issue 25, he just starts to turn fucking evil, let's say, and then like, shit, he's still fucking evil to this day. Like, you know what I mean? He just became the bad guy of that fucking universe.
And that version of him is like the whole villain of the Secret Wars that's going on right now.
Yeah, right now.
That's a Fantastic Four movie, man.
That
has that nice turnaround right there.
It does, but people would reject it because they don't know the source material. Because there's no precedent for some of these super geeks that they swear that they're fucking super geeks. They're like, yeah, but it's not classic Reed. It's like when they make too many changes to Spider-Man. It's not classic Spider-Man. It's not the Spider-Man I know. It's the problem with some remakes when people just go, it's not the show I remember. It's like, we're not making the show you remember. The show you remember is on DVD in a box set. Go dig it out.
Right. What every comic book nerd, comic book geek, comic book fanatic needs to realize is that when you're going to get something, when they're going to take something from this medium, comic books, and make a movie out of it, they are not going to be able to.
When you're talking superhero shit,
word. They're not. You got a time limit.
Yeah.
That works in your favor one way or another. You either have, like, if you want to tell a comic book story, oh, wow, wait a second, we need an hour and 45 minutes, and this is a 20-minute story. Or it's a 4 comic book story, but we write it as a script. It's only 60 minutes. What do we do?
Well, that's
or it goes the other way.
Yeah. Well, also, too, is the thing that some of these movies suffer from is, like, trying to explain too much or rationalize some of these things that are just, like, as a given in a comic book story or in a story where it's like, they didn't explain it because they weren't trying to break down the science. Like, it's like, it's almost like how people give the Star Wars movies a hard time for the midichlorians in the blood. It's like trying to explain what the Force is. It's like, okay, you guys have just now overdone it. Like, you should have left it alone.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I didn't like that whole thing with midichlorians.
You know what I mean? It's, but there are times, too, where it's like, well, it's kind of silly to not figure it out. Like, with Ant-Man, like, not that it was silly, but like I was sitting there and I was like, well, how does this really work? This shrinking stuff. Yeah. It's a juice it's a Capri Sun juice in a little silver thing. He doesn't inject it into himself, but it's just like in the suit, and then they can shrink other objects.
Shrink the suit.
Does he have a machine?
Because he's in the suit, but then again, the bad guy at the end, he shrunk while he was in the suit, but the suit shrunk and he didn't.
You know what I mean? He should.
So how does that work?
You know what I mean? It's like, how deep do you want to go down these rabbit holes?
Yeah, So
I think the problem for Fantastic Four, though, comes down to the representation, where it's like, there's no easy translating for them of that story. What they probably should have done was take their time, get somebody like really good in on it, like, you know what I mean, and say, okay, let's do it again, faithful.
I like the 4 actors that they got, though. It's not like they got no named actors.
No, they got good guys. Like, from what I understand too, from some of the reviews, is that this could be a better thing if we kind of ignore it and just put forward with a sequel that tries to just, these characters are established. Let's remind you why you're gonna like them.
There's 2 ways of looking at this though, and I agree with what you're saying because that's how I feel about it.
Right.
Is maybe try and ignore this, try and go forward with a sequel, and make, because I know they've had plans for like a joint universe, Fox, just like Marvel has.
Right.
But then there's also people that look at it like, like why are we gonna sit here as like a culture and a fucking like a
movie-going audience, or right,
geek, whatever you want to say, like why are we gonna sit here and just allow Fox to force feed us shit that is just bullshit, pretty much.
I mean, I get
like,
that
it doesn't
too.
hold up. Like,
they suffered from a ton of bad word of mouth on this. Like, it wasn't going to get a chance.
Yeah,
there's a lot of reviewers that are coming out, and they're just kind of like hate reviewing it to hate review it too. Like, not even being like, okay, well, here's some of the good points about it, or here's some of the merits, things that they can fix. They're just hating.
They got venom in their pen, and
they're just looking for eloquent ways to write some sentences about how much this thing sucks. Because I've read a couple of articles that were like, here's the worst of the reviews, like these kinds of things.
Right.
And there's some guys who will fucking find a very eloquent way to, like, it's like, how long did you work on this sentence? Jerk. Like, just write that it sucks. Like, and get to the point. Like, stop trying to, like, wow me with your writing prowess. But, all right, well, let's look at this real quick before we wrap up Fantastic Four talk. So, people are kind of buzzing since Fox owns the X-Men that maybe that there's some kind of crossover thing that could happen now, since the gist of the Fantastic Four is alternate realities and dimensions, and they could wiggle some way to cross these two over. Does anybody care?
How about this?
I know for a fact
that both
that
teams that work in New York State.
Well, there you go. The wormholes.
Oh, wow, you don't even need a friggin' wormhole.
Well, you do, because they're not necessarily. It's not necessarily established that they're in the same world anywhere. But you could just start to. You just get bypass all that shit, right?
I don't know.
Why do we need to have a multiverse and have a doorway? Why can't it just be that, you know what? There's there's a world, and it's our world, and there's superheroes on it.
Yeah. And these guys live here too.
So there's
That's
some in
fair.
Westchester that fly a giant plane with a big X on it, and then there's some guys in blue and white who put a 4 on their chest.
But here you go, Bob.
New York
What's
City.
easy is that you establish this giant wormhole, and then it gives you something to do in the third act when it comes time to close the wormhole. You know what I mean? And that's just fucking.
Sorry,
It's cupcake, right?
That's Reed Richards' job anyway. He shuts those things down in his sleep.
No.
So
true.
there you go. You're dying right there.
I don't know.
Why work so hard?
I don't know if the Fantastic Four and the X-Men will cross over now because of this whole thing about how the backlash that Fox is receiving from it. But I do kind of know for a fact that Deadpool will cross over with the fucking X-Men.
Well, this is because he's already has. I mean, it's in the trailer. I mean, you know what I mean? So, I mean, Deadpool is an X-Men character. That was never going to be in denial. Like, that was whether or not how hard they push that in the movies is a whole other thing.
I don't know if you
and probably in his sequel, because now they want to try and figure out a way to bring Cable in.
Right, I saw
that's
that.
a rumor.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught it, but I was just watching the trailer over a few nights ago, and I just paused it real quick because I was doing something,
Schwarzenegger,
and I paused it. I paused it on just a picture of whatever her name is, teenage.
Yeah, Ninja Bomb, whatever, Nikki
Warhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the suit that she wears has an X on it in the movie. So
yeah, well, she's got that X on it. Colossus is in it. He's in the trailer, and then
he's not. What I'm trying to say is those two characters are not in the new X-Men films.
No, they're not.
So,
they're not. Colossus has been in them. I think Colossus actually shows
back in
up.
the day, though.
I think Colossus shows up in the beginning of Days of Future Past, actually.
Really?
In the future. He's there in the future. He gets killed. He's one of these guys who gets killed right away, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
But, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's overt ties where it's like they're going to mention stories and stuff, and like, it's... I mean, who knows in that Deadpool movie, to be honest with you.
I mean, when he's going into like that emergency room, whatever you want to call it, that operation room, it pretty much looks like the exact fucking room that Wolverine gets worked on.
Well, it's supposed to, or it should anyway.
Because it is technically the same room.
Same program.
Same program,
same program.
But it just looks like from, what is it, Wolverine Origins?
Yeah.
So, it pretty much looks like the same room to me. So.
Yeah, I wonder how much of the... Can't read that.
You want to take a break?
Is that what that is? You want to take a break for a
I
minute?
gotta pee so bad.
You got to pee so bad? You got to pee
I gotta pee
So
so
I ask a
bad.
question. Just write down the note.
He did, but I couldn't read it.
Oh, okay.
It looked like it said brown.
I wrote it with my pee hand.
I had the pee shakes. I gotta go. All right, so go. All right, but you know what? To go back to your question, the what am I more excited for? I think I'm more excited for Deadpool. Because, not for nothing, like, I really feel like this. I feel like Deadpool's going to end up being, like, one of these few things where they get the character perfect. Like, you know what I mean? Like, exactly.
Right.
Like,
No, you're right.
you can say whatever you want about Wolverine. Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. But, like, I can't pick anything about this Deadpool thing unless you want to nitpick the costume or some shit that's, like, not looking perfect.
Right. Well, I think you just really need to put...
perfect.
Yeah.
You just got to write a Spider-Man movie and then substitute Spider-Man for, mix Spider-Man and the Punisher.
Yeah, there you go.
Then you have Deadpool, and then there you go.
Right, add a little bit more dash of crazy.
Yeah.
Like kooky crazy. But, yeah, Deadpool versus Superman versus Batman, I mean, I can only compare them in that way. To say
Yeah,
which
you
one I'm
can't-
more excited for, I really can't say 100%, but I'll tell you this much. I feel like that Deadpool is going to go down as like, when people do lists of the best representation of a character on screen or something like that, like you know what I mean? Like I can make a list probably with Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman or Captain America. You know what I mean? Of what's like things I would tweak. And with Deadpool, I see nothing like that.
No, you're right.
Right. I think Deadpool is probably going to be the better, more fun movie overall.
Right.
I think Superman versus Batman is still going to be epic,
Undeniably.
but you can't. I don't think you really can compare the two. It's
I think because when you walk out of a movie that's like, this is like what we were saying about Ant-Man. When you walk out of a movie that's fun, you walk out on a different high, you know what I mean, or a different elation than you do out of a movie that's like just epic, crazy action movie. You're walking out on a different headspace. Like it's a different experience.
It's almost like the difference between going on a roller coaster and going on a 3D roller coaster.
Well, it's like going on a
Movie
roller coaster versus like, I don't know, bumper cars or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? They were like, they seem like they're similar, but they're really two different animals. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's
You
like,
come out of one going, whoa, and the other one you come out like smiling, you have a good time.
well, it's like walking out of Ant-Man versus walking out of Avengers. I mean,
I walked out of Avengers like, what the fuck just happened though?
right, because it's like a roller coastery thing.
Right.
And you walk out of Ant-Man like maybe cracking jokes or whatever. Like your mood is lighter.
Yeah,
It's a
your
different.
mood's lighter. You're like, yeah, I had a good time. It was a pretty good movie.
Yeah. The thing with the Deadpool movie is like my favorite type of movie. Like there's gonna be shit ton of badass action that you're gonna see in Batman vs Superman, and there's also gonna be a shit ton of like, wow, that was one of the funniest fucking things I've ever fucking heard in my life.
Right.
Like when he says like, you look like Freddy Krueger face fucking topographical map of Utah. That's fucking hysterical.
It's great. And I think in the leaked Comic-Con there was more of that back and forth that they trimmed it down. But
Because they had a show it on Conan.
well, not even that. I think they just trimmed it down for time. Like usually with trailers, it's like once you go past like 2.5 minutes, it's like it's almost too long for the theaters. The theaters give them a hard time.
I would rather have a 30-second one to a minute one anyway. I don't want to see everything.
No, that's true.
You know,
That's a very good point.
I want to know that there's enough there that's like, okay, this is going to be good for me. Yeah, all right. If
you know what?
I get that, that's fine.
You know what I used to say? Like I think it's starting to change, but Marvel's trailers and previews used to be good like that, where they would make these trailers and previews where you just got to see some cool shit. You didn't really get the whole story, or they didn't give away the big gives or the big move, like, you know what I mean, or like the action sequence. Like, yeah, okay, you'd see something cool from it, but they wouldn't show you the whole goddamn thing. Like, so I felt like with Avengers Ultron, they gave away too much of that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like I knew the Hulkbuster scene before I saw it. Like, you know what I mean? And, like, there might have been a cool shot of all those Ultrons coming up out of the water.
And with Ant-Man, when Falcon's in it, you saw Falcon in the fucking trailer.
Yeah, and eventually they gave that away. They waited to give that away with a TV ad, but eventually they, for some reason, they felt like they had to. Like, oh, it's just going to bring fans in more or some shit.
Maybe they felt that, like, because it was Falcon, like, people would have assumed that maybe, like, Iron Man would have been in it, or Captain America.
Yeah.
Which Captain America was technically in it.
No. But, you know, for a lot of people...
I know you missed that scene, Bob, but he's at the very, very end.
But I think for a lot of people it was... it was...
No, I saw that.
I
didn't see it then, but I've seen it.
I think for a lot of people, I think it was, just like you said, it was a...
That was probably their logic.
It was their logic behind it. It was like, you know, let's let people know, oh, no, it definitely ties into everything else, or this will just make people want to see it more. But I felt like, you gave it away. People would have been talking about that scene anyway.
Yeah, but I think they don't need to, like, hint at who's going to be in the next movie. Let people wonder who's going to be in it.
I got to be honest.
You got a movie coming up where you're going to have a cast of characters coming through the door. Yeah. Like nobody's seen.
Holy shit.
So why give it all away? Let people be like, oh, who's going to be in a movie? You know, that's something else that's going to get them to go to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for Marvel's thinking behind that should just be like, if you don't know that already, then like we don't need you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because there's just so many people that already know. Like,
the fan base that they actually are selling it to are so ravenous. They keep track. Right.
When I saw Ant-Man, like as soon as Falcon popped up, like there was numerous people in the theater with me that were like, oh my god, like
and that's the other thing too. Like that's the other thing too. Like,
so,
you know, a lot of times like you'll hear that reaction and be like, you didn't see the commercial?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you just kind of assume because you saw it, like everybody must have seen it. And then when you go to a theater, it's like, especially with trailers and commercials in general, because like when you do see stuff, it's like they played that a million times, like, and people still laughed. you know. But then again, sometimes it's still funny. I thought the train thing was still funny when I saw it in the theater with Ant-Man, even though like
yeah. Well, then you seen the full made for the full scene for the movie, not the edited.
Right, not the chopped down version. Also, you're like running you're running at laughter constantly.
Right. You're on a roller coaster with it already. You know, it's not that quick.
Yeah, and there were more
you get from seeing it in the commercial.
I'm remembering it now, but there were more puns, more jokes with the train that came later on.
Yeah, although Ant-Man
when things started to get large.
Although, like, some of the trailers did give some stuff away, I feel like a lot of the funny stuff that went on with the Lewis character and like some
none
of the
that
side characters,
was
like they underplayed that a lot in the trailer, and I like that a lot because I did not expect those guys, T.I. and that other character Lewis to really be that funny.
I didn't even think they were going to be in it as much as they ended up being in it, but they were great. All right, so on my list of newsy stuff, I just want to throw this out there in case anybody missed it, but Bloom County is back. And I don't know if Dom knows what that is, but it's
awesome. That's what it is.
It's a comic strip that ran in the 90s in the newspapers, and Bill the Cat, Steve Dallas, Opus the Penguin. It's just a weirdly, satirical, quasi-political, current events comic strip that was just a little weird and a little off-center, and it was just, man, it was good as fuck. It was one of these comic strips that's like, it's just like, between the art and the writing on it, it's just one of the fucking best ones. Like, you know what I mean? And so
it was so popular in the time that Bill the Cat was actually put on a tab of acid.
Yeah, well,
I know who Bill the Cat is.
Okay,
you've seen him all skinny. He all looks like he's all cracked out. But so that's back to a degree.
It's in the.
It's on the papers where it's only running on Burke Breathard's Facebook page at this point because he just kind of started bringing it back on his own. I don't even know if he does it every day, but he is doing like daily strips and some Sunday style strips. So, but it's right back where it left off, and it's so great because like one of the first strips is talking about how like we've been gone for 25 years, and then it lists off all the shit that hasn't changed, that is still the same shit, like Donald Trump in the news, and like all this kind of stuff where it was just like, oh my god, we haven't changed at all. But
it's a very smart cartoon that is a commentary on daily life and through a cast of characters that's as off the wall as any you've ever seen. Yeah. So if you haven't had the opportunity to read it, look for it, go to a bookstore, buy them. They have them in the book form.
If you're interested,
I probably have like a hardcover of every single one.
I have a few collections over there. If you want to borrow one or flip through it one day,
definitely a fun.
I'll let you flip through it, and when you see it,
something
you want to take it, you take it.
Bathroom reading for sure. Those books. that's the best place for them because it's lighthearted and.
Yeah, so look for that if you were ever into that because. You're never going to get Calvin and Hobbes again, I don't think. So.
No, but that's another one. If you can find the books, get them.
Yeah, and there's a documentary out there. Look, I think it's called "Looking for Bill" or "Looking for Bill Watterson."
Bill?
Yeah, his name's Bill.
Yeah, but Bill Watterson's the guy who made Calvin and Hobbes.
And another one who kind of like just like Burke. But Burke briefly kept on bringing it back every now and then for small cycles, and then would kind of stop again.
Right.
But they both were kind of like, we're riding high with it. Let me just stop it now before it gets played out. Like rather than let it become like Snoopy, where it's
John
like
Stewart's in the comic strip field.
Right. Basically,
quitting
early
on a high.
Yeah. Yeah, that totally.
Which, by the way, since I've mentioned it, John Stewart.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. You were awesome.
Yeah, gonna miss Jon Stewart in the Daily Show. I mean, this Daily Show will be around, but it's gonna be different.
I don't think the world should allow Jon Stewart to stop doing the show because he did it so well.
Yeah.
And it served a real purpose. He was pointing out, all the garbage that goes on in politics,
right?
That we all miss.
Well, also too that the stuff that
job.
The news networks don't talk about because they're afraid to scare off those guys. Those same politicians then like, if we talk about it, they won't come here. But for some reason, John putting it in the wraparound of it being a joke, like he could point out that stuff and still then got those people to come on his show. Like same people he was giving a hard time, like,
Well, it got to a point. There was a documentary on the day after the show ended,
right,
on MSNBC, and basically they were saying that they had no choice but to still go on the show because it had become such a nightly thing for everybody. It was water cooler talk. You
Absolutely.
have to be on a show like that.
Yeah.
You know, and whenever a show gets to be that big, so they had to.
Yeah, eventually it became undeniable. Yeah, and then actually,
He was trying so hard at the end to get Donald Trump on the show.
Yeah. Well, Donald probably wasn't going to go on there.
No, that's what I'm trying to say.
John will put him on the spot a little bit.
It probably wouldn't hurt Trump to have gone on the show.
Well, especially not because he was talking about Trump almost every goddamn night. Like, that became one of the running jokes. It's like, no, I'm leaving. And Trump is running for president. I choose now to leave. That's a smart
What is he
idea.
doing? Is he joining another show?
So that's the thing. Like I was going to mention too, is like for now, it's supposedly he's just going to retire to a degree.
Yeah,
he's going to go live in Jersey with his family, and then. But there are some slight kind of hint or talk. There was something that maybe he's got something else coming up, or he is at least entertaining some offers, I think, from other networks.
Yeah. Word is, according to the documentary I watched, that he wants to direct. He may go back.
He
did do a film, and he was really he did a really good job on it.
Yeah.
And it was well received, and so now he might want to do something else like that.
Yeah.
And whatever he wants to do, I think people are going to be listening because he made
he made a big wave, and I just still love how the whole thing of trying to discredit anything he said because it was wrapped in a comedy thing, like that somehow made whatever point he was making not a valid point, but just because it's like I'm telling it in a joke.
Right.
And it's like, no.
Well, that's the only thing that they could do
that's the only,
battle it because
he was right.
Everything he said was very intelligent, and you couldn't knock it.
Yeah.
So the only thing you could do would be to attack his character. But the problem with that is Jon Stewart comes off on TV as being a genuinely nice, honest guy.
Who's trying to give it to you flat.
Right. And people feel like, you know what, if I saw him on the street, I could just go up and say, hey, John, enough time, nice to see you.
Yeah.
And it would be like being a friend almost, So you're not going to be successful trying to destroy his character.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah,
sorry, I digressed. I took the.
Well, it just slowed down a little bit. I mean, the train's got to stop sometime, I guess.
So.
I got other stuff on the list here. You got a list anymore, or are you finished off your list?
Pretty much done, though.
Pretty much done, so. Well, what's interesting, I thought, was that we seem to, I think this is a bit of topic we can kick around. We seem to be living in a new generation with television, which is like giving TV shows a second chance, like these, a sequel series almost in a sense, because X-Files is coming back with 10 episodes. What kicked this off, really, for me to make a mention of it was that this week they announced Prison Break is officially coming back.
Really?
With 10 episodes. Now, this is a series that actually killed off one of them. So
right.
They're going to have to.
I remember you were big on this.
I was big on it the first couple of seasons, and I kind of dug the whole ridiculous. It was one of my first love to hate it kind of shows, where I'd be like, this fucking show is stupid. I'll be here next week. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, I can't fucking stand this fucking show. It's so retarded. I'm coming back. You know what I mean? It was appointment hate television for me. So like, besides Prison Break coming back, but you got X-Files, Heroes Reborn is coming back, which is right around the corner, I think. And X-Files isn't too far away either. I think because they're starting to do really tiny previews for it.
Yeah, they're doing is it like 6 episodes.
Yeah, I don't think it might be even 10. But
I was thinking 10. I thought I heard after thinking 10 it was 6.
Yeah.
I
thought 10 until you said. I just thought 10 until you said 6, and now it's like it's probably 45.
Right. So it'll be 6 plus 10, 16 episodes.
There you go. Bob said 16. That's a scoop.
16 episodes, 12 movies. Okay.
Wait a minute. So so that's coming back. And there's talk maybe about bringing 24 back, but Kiefer Sutherland really
again.
Yeah, but he's not going to be in it. It would be like kind of like a new character, new cast, probably same setup.
You're forgetting
all new faces.
You're forgetting the most important one.
Okay.
The most important.
I was trying to think this through.
Show in the 90s.
That's coming back, or
one that I wanted. Maybe want to put a gun in my mouth.
That is coming back.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hit me.
Fuller House.
I'll,
Yes.
I'm trying. Yeah, that's a reason I had that buried away, I guess, in my mind. Couldn't fucking care.
John Stamos is so desperate. He's bringing it back.
No, man. Show. I don't even think it was his idea.
He's got another one that's going. He's going to be doing at the same time. After he gets out of rehab.
Well, he's got a show.
He got a deal for these 2 shows, and then he decided he had to go to rehab before he started either one.
Well, he got money
to pay for it. So.
It's a preemptive strike.
He had to have health benefits to go to rehab.
Well,
so he had to.
And what about that? I know it wasn't a previous TV show, but it was a movie with Tom Cruise. It's coming on Fox soon.
Minority Report.
Minority Report, exactly.
Yeah, that actually looked pretty good. I saw the trailer for that.
Megan Good. She's pretty cool.
Looking.
That could be good. I wasn't a huge fan of the movie.
So what are
movie, but I'm just not a big fan of Tom Cruise as an action hero.
Absolutely.
Sorry, people.
I agree.
So now the thing.
Mission Impossible.
Now the thing with these shows, though, Prison Break, X-Files, 24, Heroes Reborn,
on Game of Thrones.
They're all continuations, so that they're actually sequel series.
Right.
So, what would you, outside of these, what shows would you want to see come back? Oh, topic machine.
Well, mine ain't gonna go that far.
No, well, I mean,
mine ain't gonna go back that far.
Hey, man, good show's a good show.
But the top of my list would have to be Sons of Anarchy.
Damn it, just fucking ended.
But
well, hold on a second. Let me write that through with you here. Fucking motorcycle reference. But now, spoiler alert, but it's been over for a while. The main character on that show is Dunskies.
Oh, we just said
It's
that
a
the main
sequel.
character on the other show is Dead Skis.
Well, it's Prison Break. They're fucking basically living in a comic book world. You know what I mean? It's
I
he had a full body.
Yeah, didn't the whole family that was in the main family of Sons of Anarchy?
Bob will be back with a new mouth tomorrow.
Yes. Free of marble, hopefully.
But yeah,
Just one character. Though.
Just one character. Out of the main family. Eventually, quite a few.
I thought didn't the father, the mother, and the son all die?
Yeah,
Or the mother
Over
got killed
time.
by the son. And
Yes,
some,
you're 100% right.
Actually, you're correct.
You're actually 110% right, but the secondary
so we're just
show.
left with a bunch of motorcycles that are idling, standing, and
Well, that's what I'm wondering. So who's left on that? Who would you make a show out of then?
Well, I wouldn't want a show about the guys that are left.
I know, but I'm talking about, that's the point of this question is
continuation.
A sequel show.
What about a prequel?
Well, a prequel would be obviously what everybody would want with that shit, because how much is left afterwards?
you're going to get these guys with a 9 and they're riding tricycles.
No, there's a lot of
The 9.
a lot of history of the.
He watched an episode.
No.
Did you
No,
watch?
he said when the guys are 9.
Oh, because isn't there like?
Because there is. That's
they're
what.
riding tricycles.
Well, because in the show there's isn't it the 9?
Well, yeah, it's the first 9.
The first 9,
And now there can be 9.
the first 9, the 9 at 9. There you go.
The 9 at 9.
There has been since the show announced that it was going to end last year.
Right.
There has been a lot of rumors that there is going to be a movie or a prequel television show about
Sons of Anarchy.
the founding members, which is a huge part of the show. And I actually wouldn't mind if they did it because it's something that could hold up. Like it wouldn't be like a stupid thing like Prison Break is probably going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like it would actually be good if they brought back Hellboy and actually had him be like a younger version of himself.
Well,
It would be pretty good. I don't know
that
how
would
it's
be
gonna
interesting.
happen.
That would be interesting.
I don't know how that would happen because he'd be fucking.
Ron Perlman's got a certain kind of look. Like, let's say we had to cast him like into his.
Rocky Dennis.
Oh my God, that poor fellow. I don't know who I feel bad for, Rocky Dennis or Ron Perlman in that exchange.
What's his name? John Kerry was on the last Jon Stewart show.
Okay.
And I swear to God, that's all I could think about was Rocky Dennis.
When they showed when they showed John Kerry in that video clip, right on the last Jon Stewart, they had like this video montage of goodbyes from like politicians, and they showed John Kerry, and I swear to God, I thought it was a fucking mask. Like that whole thing about him being a lizard person. I could fucking believe it. I could fucking believe it.
Wait, okay.
Bro.
Have you seen
Oh
pictures
my
of this
God.
guy? He's like,
I thought he had fucking
he's got
makeup
like Jay
on.
Leno jaw. Okay, but then it's his whole face.
Maybe
It's
he
like,
had some work done or something. I don't know. He just looks so fucking
Stewie
weird,
from
bro.
Family Guy? It's like someone took Stewie from Family Guy and turned his head sideways. Okay.
There you go.
And then put some like gray hair on top.
No, something like that.
Kinda.
But
So what I got to ask there is you guys didn't vote for him in 04?
was that?
You guys didn't vote for him in 04, I guess, right?
He ran in 04?
Yeah, he was like
He was the
People vote? So,
you don't, but
yeah,
most Americans do.
most Americans
That's one of those
don't
elections that
actually.
the Bushes bought.
That's the sad part. That's the why we're in the case, the sad state that we're in.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a different show.
You're right. Most Americans, I should say most Americans I know.
Well, that's good.
But I know
That's good.
that is true. That most Americans
yeah.
don't vote.
Yeah.
Which is
The
sad.
best was like when Saturday Night Live fucking goofed on Bill Clinton getting elected a second time, and it was I want to thank everybody.
You're not voting.
Basically, it was, but it was the long way around. It was I want to thank everybody for, I want to thank like the half of the people who came out and voted for me, and then the 1/3 that actually knew who they were voting for, or some shit like that. Like the 1/3 of that, like it's
Right.
however you break it down. But let's get back to the question at hand, which was not prequels, Dominic.
All right.
It's a sequel series. So if you want to pick up where a show left off or come back 10 years later, these kinds of things, what was a show you liked? And I'll throw one out there for Bob. You won't know it, but Quantum Leap.
Okay.
Because if you remember Quantum Leap
Yeah, he was
with
like,
Sam Bakula.
yeah. I don't remember how that
Dracula?
ended, but did he? But he was like stuck in time still at the end.
He was
wasn't
still stuck in time. That's what I was going to say. He's still searching for a way home.
Yeah.
So
So okay, but who's going to be his sidekick? Who's going to help Sam?
why did the yellow guy die?
Yeah, died
Yeah, well,
a while ago.
That'll be it. That'll be that'll be a
That'll
hook
be
of
why
the
he's
show.
still stuck in time. We're gonna have to get a beer. And
He doesn't know where he's going. There's no one to help him anymore. He's losing.
Al, Al, you there, Al?
Jiggy said I don't have a reason to come back, so goodbye. But that was a favorite of mine. I could see picking up where I left off. Anything? Anything from
This
anybody?
is a question that I can't answer.
You don't have anything from your childhood? Like,
Knight Rider? No, they tried that already.
yeah, they tried that kind of. But
Bionic Woman? No, they tried
pick
that
up where they left off, though. Like, so it would be like the old cast coming back.
18, no, they made a movie.
It doesn't apply. None of it applies.
Okay.
Because it's not about that.
Right.
Those cast
See,
members
the
coming
one
back.
it's hard for me because most of the shows that were on when I grew up
Yeah.
sucked.
I'm never talking about shows where you grow up.
I know. I'm just
You're going
trying- I'm
through
trying to
a.
think.
See, that's our first
You know,
instinct, I
Lost,
think.
Maybe.
You know,
I was
they-
thinking Lost also, but I didn't really remember how
Lost?
that ended
I
exactly.
could go for another couple of seasons of trying to figure out what else those numbers work.
Well, in the end of Lost, it ends with Hurley, Ben,
So they bring them back.
and
that's
I
right,
think
they
Saeed
bring
on the
someone
island.
back.
Yeah,
They're still on the island.
they're still on the island, and they're going to be like, the caretakers of the island or whatever now.
Magnum PI.
That's right.
Magnum P.I. There's a random one you
How
just
good
threw
was
out
that
for no
opening
reason. You're like, that's something from the 80s, right? What's some random 80s references?
I watch reruns every once in a while.
Hey, buddy, I got Nick at Night.
Nick at Night.
As if that's around
I don't
anymore.
even know if it's not around anymore.
Well, it's
is it?
TV Land now.
TV Land.
Yeah,
Stop.
Stop. He
No,
goes,
Nick and Night
stop.
is still Nick and Night. They usually show. I think it's was it the George Lopez show?
There you go.
Well-
The George Foreman Grill special.
A couple years ago, this ran for about probably 6 months, maybe not even a year.
All right.
They on Nickelodeon, once the clock struck 12, from 12
Nothing but
to like
porn.
7 in the morning.
Kitty porn.
Kitty porn.
That's Prickalodian.
Prickalodians. They showed all the shows that I grew up watching, like on
Oh,
like when I
okay.
was like a little kid, like all that. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember all
that, like the Amanda
And
show.
what's his
like
name?
fucking-
Keenan and Kel.
Like the Keenan and Kel, the original
Yeah,
SpongeBob.
I remember when they were doing that. That was like a big hit for them because
Leave it to-
all those guys now are up late because they're older and
Yeah.
Leave it to Beaver. Want to see them do it in the hood.
Bob's giving me
finishing where we left
reboots.
off?
Bob's giving me reboots.
Oh, that's true. That's
But
a reboot. That wouldn't be-
although if you did want to watch Beaver now all grown up, because they did that show. They did the continuation of Leave It to Beaver. You remember the remake where Beaver was older? He was
wasn't
like
it like in the 80s when Fox
Yeah.
first started and they were desperate to like
something like
figure out
that.
what
I
they
think it
were?
might have been one of those syndication shows.
Oh, that
like
back in the-
Small Wonder. You know what I mean? Like these kinds of trashy shows, but it was shot on film and it was fucking Beaver and he was older now and he had his own kids and I'm just a Beaver too and I got Beaver
they
Junior or
But
whatever
they
the
get
fuck.
the guy that was like the California sad sack who the Beaver became to reprise his role.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was him. It was the
Really?
Beav. Yes, it was the Beav, bro.
Oh, that's right.
He looked like a fucking senator.
Wow.
He looked like a short,
Wow.
squat,
That's right. It was
chubby
really,
senator.
It was one of those really, really bad, really, really low budget shows that looked like should be on like closed circuit cable TV.
Yes. It was. Yeah. It wasn't that great. I don't think it lasted or anything, but
No.
and I think it was like one of those.
Kind of like it was shot like Captain Kangaroo.
Yeah, it was like I don't know about that. Didn't look like BBC cameras, but
Did you guys hear that The Bad Boys series has gotten official release dates
They're
on
gonna-
the
yeah.
third and fourth installment.
Martin Lawrence is like,
Martin Lawrence is like, yeah,
God.
I'm working.
thank God.
He hasn't done anything in years.
Thank God.
Except running around naked in the LA streets.
Yeah, I think that was about it that
That
one
was
time.
a couple of times. He
Even
did that.
Will Smith, bro, like
Off his meds.
Well, he's just
Will Smith's not really done much. Like,
Will Smith is looking for a way to keep himself in the circle. I think he's probably, he probably made a couple bonehead moves, and he's like probably said no to too many things that turned out to be good.
did you see that that recent movie? It came out like probably 2 or 3 years ago. With it was starring him and his son. It was called like
I watched
something Earth
some of it. Yeah,
After
yeah.
Earth. Maybe.
Yeah, I watched like 15 minutes. It was so boring.
I got
love that.
I
thought it
got
was so
past
boring.
I got past that, and I don't think I stopped watching it for any like particular reason like that. Like I wasn't liking it, but I did get to the point where they crashed and the kid has to go out.
I just thought that the whole
That's where I
concept
got
of
it.
that movie was
That's
so
about
good.
where I got. It wasn't that long into the movie. If I remember correctly.
I just thought like the whole concept, like the idea was great.
I thought it was too.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna do better than it did.
And it could have, don't get me wrong,
he
the
did
concept
that-
was amazing. It
right.
could have been way better.
Yeah,
I
well,
understand where you're
it's-
coming from with that, but I still thought it was a good movie.
Sure.
It was decent.
It was really supposed to be a vehicle for his son, not for
Yeah, I mean, it was like a
Right.
vanity project
That's-
kind of a thing.
yeah.
It's something they picked that they could work together.
Right.
He might
Son's
have
got.
even directed that, I think.
He might have. I guarantee he's like executive producer on that though. I'm sure once.
that was his idea. That was one
Yeah.
of his projects.
Oh, he was.
And I think the problem with him now is because he's done so many personal projects that haven't panned out that they're not going to listen to him anymore. Like Legend didn't do that great.
Yeah.
That was all
But
right.
I also
It wasn't
think
that
too.
great.
I think.
But
I
that was a
think.
remake of a movie that did well back in the like 50s. So
Yeah.
if it did well back then, it was a science fiction kind of thing.
Yeah.
You
I
should
am
be able to
Legend did
redo it now, but
Yeah.
he didn't have any success with it.
Yeah,
So
I think it just did.
that's-
It was a good movie.
that was
I just think the
problem for
audience didn't
studio.
know what to do with it, and also too is like the whole conversation about that movie was about it being a remake of a remake of a remake of a book, and like so it's like 90% of any article about it is not even talking about what the movie's about. It's just regaling. It's reducing what the actual story point of trying to sell the movie is to like 2 sentences in this full page article. Meanwhile, we're spending all this time talking about fucking I Am Legend and the book and how the book was different, and then Charlton Heston did a movie and then that was different. I think it was Heston.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it was one of
It
those.
was one of those old school gruff guys.
I Am Robot.
Yeah.
He was in also.
Elf, whatever, one of those.
Okay movie.
Yeah. Okay, movie. iRobot. Okay.
Was it? No. I Am Legend, then I Robot. Right.
iRobot, then I Am Legend.
Yeah.
In that order. But
Either way-
Well, I
either way.
just was saying.
No. But the point I was trying to make that I was getting to was that for me, I'm betting too what happens with some of these guys is that like sometimes you stop getting certain kinds of offers because like you're kind of pigeonholed and they kind of presume like, oh, he's only going to do like X, Y, Z. Let's not even send it to him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we'll send
He's- Yeah, he's definitely leaned on the action hero thing a little bit more than most people do. I mean, if you look at what's become the Hollywood formula for male actors who want to be action heroes is they do the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing, where you do a couple action movies, then you do a comedy or something lighter.
Yeah.
Then
you find
go
a drama
back.
here or there.
Yeah.
But you bounce around.
Right. And then, you keep,
Yeah.
even if those other movies don't do well,
Yeah.
you keep people looking at you as an overall actor and
Right.
not pigeonholing you.
Right.
I
And
think Will Smith is way better in a comedy.
Yes. Well, I mean, to a degree. I
Hitch
think it
is one of
depends.
my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Hitch is good.
Yeah, he started out in comedies, and that's where he learned to
Hitchcock
act.
is good.
Hitchcock too. Yeah.
Hitchcock.
I mean, that was both.
Yeah,
it was
Hitchcock
comedy
was
and
actually
action.
a
And
pretty good
Hitchcock,
movie.
what's funny about Hitchcock is that the story goes with that the original script that was going around was no, I don't know what that was. I think that was a Psycho reference you made.
No, the original script was going around had the scene where he's masturbating and blows the roof, the ceiling.
Yes, I think that's it. Right? Is that it?
Blows through the ceiling. He
It
ejaculates.
was the idea was it was all this crazy shit.
Yeah, it
like
was
what
like-
would Superman do, and what would happen? Like if he was just a regular guy,
Yeah,
but
like
like a
if she had
jerk
sex
off.
with Lois Lane, what would really happen? Like you would end up tearing her to shreds.
Yeah, I don't know if that happened in the script
but-
I'm talking
but
about.
that's
But in
the
the
kind of
script
idea.
for the original Hitch, like he was much more of a drunk. He was much more of a douchebag,
Yeah.
bigger asshole. So it was like this movie that was never gonna get made. Kind of like it was like,
Yeah,
and it was too much of a hard analogy of Superman too. And they had they watered some of that down.
Yeah, this is why you never see him in a superhero suit
Right.
until he eventually gets one, but it looks more like a knockoff of an X-Men suit.
Yeah.
Can't believe
That
they
was
didn't
what
make a
was
sequel
cool.
for that movie.
Yeah, he probably should have. If he was looking for a superhero movie, he's got one sitting there. Maybe it's tied up with shit. That happens too. Sometimes these projects, there's legals involved that all of a sudden
Yeah, well,
prevent
if they wanted to give it a one shot back then and didn't want to commit to multiple movies, then they'd have to renegotiate for the license again. And
Yeah,
now it becomes a major issue because now it's a moneymaker.
Yeah, well, that and
Yeah.
if they didn't have him sign up for anything.
Yeah. So I'm sure if they wait long enough, eventually he'll sign on for anything.
Oh wait, I got a
look at,
breaking news on my phone.
Whoa! Breaking news!
This isn't gonna matter to you at all, but I know Bob might care about this. Frank Gifford has died, Bob.
The GIF.
He died 20 years ago. They just have been propping him up for a while now.
With some hairspray.
No,
he's comb over and he's
a
good.
Football legend. He played in some of the greatest games, most historic football games ever played. So,
who did he play for?
He was a Giants. He was a running back for the Giants. But
okay.
I think he played there like 13 years. Something like that.
Yeah, he had a pretty good career too. He still holds some Giant records today, I believe.
Wait a minute. Are they records for the Giants, or are they just really big records? Like, you know what I mean? Giant records. Which way do you mean that? Or do you mean that in both ways?
No, I just
giant
records.
records.
I mean that vinyl.
Those records.
He holds records. This is what
giant records.
This is what the job he had.
Gotcha.
As an old man.
Gotcha.
He
is an old man.
Hold the records.
He was an old man. All right. Frank Gifford.
No.
How old was he?
I don't think it said. 84.
84 years old.
Wow, I figured they would have had to carbon date him.
Yeah, well.
No, sorry. But,
it happens.
Rest in peace. Sorry.
May your pieces be at rest.
Yeah. Now Kathy Lee's going to have to go back to work because someone's got to pay for her plastic surgery.
Well, she was doing all right. She's working.
Yeah,
she's working.
She's getting scary looking. You see that?
What, did we expect anything less? All right.
That's about it for me.
It's about it for you. It's about it for me.
Finished watching Gotham.
You finished watching Gotham. Whoa, how about that ending?
The Batcave.
The mysterious staircase. Where does that go? Right? Isn't that how it ends? In the library, something opens up in the wall.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it's
yeah.
Now we're going to talk about the Batcave for a season. Yeah. And
I mean, honestly, all the things that they've shown, like trailers and everything else from this upcoming season.
Yeah.
Looks pretty okay. Looks good.
Pretty okay. That's a great. I like that though. You know what I mean? It looks pretty okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's the only way I could talk about that show. It's not a good show. It's just an okay show. The only reason why I watch it is because I'm a fucking huge Batman fan, and I hope I will see something on TV one day that's
like meaty.
Yeah, that is about Batman.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Yeah,
it's not a good show.
So we're getting a Batcave. Michael Chiklis. What's her name is out. Right? Because they killed her, right?
Who is that? Barbara?
No.
Oh, Barbara's going to be like Harley Quinn or some shit like that.
Yeah, they painted her up to be a cuckoo bird.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
I heard about Michael Chiklis. He's coming on. He's going to be the new commissioner since Commissioner Gordon's going to be Batman.
Yeah, some shit like that. We were talking about it last week.
What? Commissioner Gordon's going to be Batman?
No. Bob's mixing up.
I might be mixing up storylines.
Commissioner Gordon.
Bob's mixing up the monthly comic.
Yeah. Commissioner Gordon is Batman in the comics right now.
Right.
Bruce is dead.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, if anybody's looking for a reason to read the Batman comics right now,
there's a reason not to.
There's a reason to weigh your options.
It's still very good though.
It's still freaking great.
Snyder and Capullo do wonders.
That's amazing. I love that
just got a fucking chubby over.
Yeah, I'm like, that book's amazing. I love that book. Then outside of that,
that's a book Bob should fucking get started reading.
Yeah, you'd have to lend him all those books.
I have all the trades though.
Yeah, you'd have to lend him all the shit you lent me.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the new job and everything. I'm going to be on call 24 hours a day.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
so
true.
I might not have time to be reading anything.
That's true.
So.
All right. Well, kids, I'd like to remind all of you still listening that you can find us on iTunes, and if you do, give us a like. I mean, a like as if it's Facebook. Listen to me. Give us rate us and review us on iTunes. We like that stuff. It's good for you. It builds strong bones. Don loves it when the dead air comes. When it's like, what do I say?
I hate it.
It's awkward. It's instantly awkward though, right? Isn't it? Like as soon as I'm like,
Oh no, you know what it is? Because I hear it now and it's awkward because of how you're like, but it makes it even worse when you think in terms of like someone's gonna be listening to that, and then
Right.
they're just gonna be
exactly.
like, wow.
Well, because that's exactly. You want to know exactly what hit
fucking-
me in that moment? Like right before I was about to start the wrap up, was like, I don't think anybody's listening to this. Like, I would have turned off this episode already. I think. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would have like gave up a while ago. That kind of a thing. But seriously, folks. If you want to follow us, go to wickedtheory.com. You can find all the links to social media, stuff like that. If you want to follow Dom Torre, you can follow him on Twitter.
Tom_Torre.
Torre.
That's correct.
2 R's for more R.
Like George.
Like what? Oh, George R. Martin.
Yes.
Your buddy. Grr. Your new buddy, your new friend. You want to go do a podcast with him?
No.
No.
He's too fat.
Is he your boyfriend?
Is he your boyfriend?
I'll fucking marry him.
You'd marry, yeah,
I'll
right?
fucking...
Hey, if you're going to marry rich, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Man, woman, fish, I don't care. Just
If I
be
married
rich.
him, I think I know who Jon Snow's parents are quicker than you will.
Hey, you probably would. You'd also, well, depending on how well you perform, I guess. You know what I mean? Maybe
I
you'd even
don't
find
doubt
out.
that.
Maybe you'd even find out.
That's the price of your dignity. You're gonna
I care that much about who Jon Snow's parents are that I will get married to a man for it.
Not just any man.
Not just any man, but the
girl.
man.
Girl.
It's not just marrying the man though. What about the honeymoon?
The honeymoon?
Well, it's all included. It's all included. It's all included. Butt sex, the whole bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See?
I just have to be on the other end.
No.
Oh, it goes both ways. It's a relationship,
George
buddy.
R. R. Martin is the man in the relationship, I think.
He's got that beard.
Oh, I'm the man. He's just the breadwinner.
He's George R. R. Martin.
He's too...
He's the breadwinner. He's the man.
The only reason why
You just said it.
No, listen, you're getting too specific about this. I don't really...
And the way I don't want it to go.
I really don't think he would be able to have sex with anybody.
He's
He
a little
is
too
that fat and that, like,
He is a big boy.
stationary
You
that he
think that you
can't.
would be able to find out who Jon Snow's parents are once you've had sex with George R. R. Martin? You think he's gonna say anything to you after you rape his ass?
I'm not raping his ass.
You just said that if you were on that end of...
Well, if we were married, it wouldn't be a rape.
That's true, technically, according to some states. Anyway. All right, kids. So that's it. That's a wrap. Enough with your dream.
Yeah.
With the two of you, with the
Butt
dreams.
sex with George R. R. Martin.
You know what I mean? Oh, I found the episode title right there.
That'll get people to open it up.
Oh boy, would it? Jesus Christ!
might
They'd
get
be waiting a
Bill
long time to get to this point in the episode now to find out what that reference is.
It might get Bill a letter in the news from George R. R. Martin's fucking
please.
people.
Well,
Anyway,
just do the title as a question. Does Dom have sex with George R. R. Martin?
find out. Listen.
Find out.
All right, enough. Goodbye, people. Follow us. Check us out. You've had enough of us. Goodbye. Bob, play us out of here, huh?